Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. I would like to welcome all of you back to the Lightning Flash update right here on YouTube.com. You already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the Lightning Flash update for March 9th, 2018, and boy, oh boy, do I have a lot of news on the table for you guys today. A lot of news came out over the course of the last week, including Wednesday during NXT, Monday during Raw, Tuesday during SmackDown Live. I'm going to basically just skim through the weekly show reviews because there weren't really that many highlights on either of the main shows. Just mainly 205 Live and NXT this week. You know, back in the Attitude Era, they named Raw is War. In the modern era, they should name Raw is 2-3H. Raw is 2 to 3 highlights. Because it's becoming way too consistent. Anyway, so Monday Night Raw kicked off with Kurt Angle. He called out Triple H. Stephanie came out. He basically was telling Stephanie, you know, Triple H should not have crossed me. Stephanie wanted to put everything behind them. Ronda came out, and Ronda made up the little clause in that contract that she signed saying that, don't I get to pick anyone for my WrestleMania opponent? Stephanie said yes, and Ronda picked Stephanie. And then, all of a sudden, Triple H comes out. Then, Angle was like, you know, I told you not to cross me back after Survivor Series. So at WrestleMania, it's going to be Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey and me. Very good segment. And it ended with Kurt Angle locking Triple H in the ankle lock. And Ronda Rousey just tossing Stephanie McMahon around like a rag doll. Very good opening segment. That was actually one of the only highlights of the show. Asuka then defeated Nia Jax. It was a very good match. I'm not going to take anything away from the two of them. And after this match, basically Raw just went downhill. Raw just went downhill. We had The Bar defeating The Revival. It was a decent match and all, but why did The Bar win? Why did The Bar win to begin with when The Revival is without a doubt the top team on Monday Night Raw, even though they don't have the titles? They are the perfect definition of a heel tag team. They should have been the ones facing The Bar at WrestleMania. Now I'm actually getting reports that PW Insider is reporting that The Bar are going to have an open challenge at WrestleMania, and a team who's not even a team yet is going to accept. We're going to have another Sheamus and Cesaro incident. We're going to have another Daniel Bryan and Kane incident. Why can't we get actual legitimate tag teams like Titus Worldwide or like The Revival? Why not bring the Authors of Pain up to challenge them? I would rather have the Authors of Pain challenge them than some completely random-ass tag team. Completely illogical booking decision there. John Cena basically addressed Fastlane. He talked about beating Ric Flair's record. Why did Goldust come out and attack Cena? You couldn't really think of anything better than Cena versus Goldust on Monday Night Raw, nonetheless. Doesn't even feel like WrestleMania season right now, which is very, very sad. Doesn't even feel like WrestleMania season. It is incredibly sad. It's like it's like they're putting no effort into anything. They're putting absolutely no effort into anything except for Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And Fastlane this Sunday actually looks like a pretty decent pay-per-view. It actually looks like a pretty decent pay-per-view, but all in all, the build has been sucky. Who cares about John Cena defeating Goldust? I don't. Hillbilly Jim is inducted into the 2018 Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Hillbilly Jim. Bayley defeated Mandy Rose in a completely pointless match. Sasha Banks then made the save as Absolution attacked Bayley, and Bayley refused the hug from Sasha Banks. I like the slow build. I am enjoying the very, 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 very slow build that they are going with toward this Sasha Banks and Bayley storyline and match for WrestleMania. Although I do believe it should be for the Raw Women's Championship. But nevertheless, it's a very good build regardless. Nia Jax and Alexa had a promo backstage. This is basically going to set up their match for WrestleMania. Elias deserves a musical award and a place in the Musical Hall of Fame, because Elias is, without a doubt, the most talented musician on earth. bar none. You know what I gotta do? I'm gonna have to give Elias a call. I'm gonna have to tweet out Elias. Come by my place, and you and me, we can do a little jam session with JV Thunder. I love that. I could have Elias and Thunder play me in for one of my pay-per-view reviews. Then Elias ran out of the arena. Strowman lifted the car, and Strowman just defeated Elias in a symphony of destruction, Falls Count Anywhere match. Playing the piano, flipping the piano, dropping the piano on Elias. He sent Elias flying into the drums, flying into the guitars, and Strowman won. Very entertaining. I wish it would have gone a little bit longer, but nevertheless, very entertaining. Bray Wyatt then defeated Rhino in a minute, and then he called out Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, I was marking out at this rate. Matt Hardy announced that there's only one place for the ultimate deletion. The Hardy Compound! And at this rate, I was jumping for joy. We're gonna get Vanguard 1. We're gonna get Skarsgård, the dilapidated boat. We could get Senor Benjamin, the Lake of Reincarnation. We're gonna get it all, and it's gonna be highly entertaining. It's gonna be highly entertaining. Who cares about the Mizzies? I certainly do not. Why is the Miz doing the Mizzies? This is the third time that they've done the Mizzies, and all of the 3 times they have been horrible. Why is Miz doing the Mizzies? All the more reason why I keep on saying the Miz does nothing with the Intercontinental Championship. 8 times. 8 times this man has been Intercontinental Champion, and might I also add, he's 54 days away, or somewhere around that mark, like 50 days away, from breaking the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship record, held by Pedro Morales, I believe. And I certainly, for one, do not care. The Miz does not deserve to be in the Intercontinental Championship scene. Miz doesn't even deserve to be in any championship scene right now. Miz, too much of the repetitiveness. Too many people are getting the same opportunities over and over and over again. Miz is one of them. Miz, there are few people in the WWE that do not need championships to remain relevant. Strowman, he doesn't need a championship to remain relevant, but he deserves one. Same thing with Styles. But Lesnar doesn't need a championship to remain relevant. Roman doesn't need a championship to remain relevant. Cena doesn't need one. Randy doesn't need one. Miz doesn't need one. Nakamura doesn't need one, but he deserves it. This led to Balor and Rollins coming out. Miz, he tried to act all tough by coming at Rollins and Balor. Rollins and Balor then beat the Miz Taraj, and Kurt Angle announced a triple threat for WrestleMania. It is going to be a damn good match. Paul Heyman then came out and responded to Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman, I can't help but feel as though, I just love Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, he's without a doubt the best promo deliverer in the industry, without a shadow of a doubt. But honestly, I can't get invested in this. I really can't get invested in a storyline like this when A, it's already happened before, B, they've been doing the same thing with Roman Reigns for the past 4 years. And might I add, why are they cheering Roman Reigns in Milwaukee? Milwaukee is without a doubt one of the most gullible crowds I think I have ever watched on a WWE television event. Milwaukee proved that they are so gullible and they are so easy to manipulate. You let me down, Milwaukee. You really let me down. But anyway, long story short, Roman came out and he said some BS about how Lesnar's a bitch. He said, I want Lesnar to come out for a fight next week, blah, blah, blah. And that was pretty much it. Boring Raw, as per usual. SmackDown Live, it kicked off with Charlotte and Ruby Riott. It was actually a decent promo, I'm not going to lie. Decent promo between Ruby Riott and Charlotte. Riott said she wanted to destroy the myth known as the Queen. Charlotte said she has earned her place. She has to live up to the reputation of being a Flair. And Riot actually said a very interesting line to end the promo. She said, "You're just going to be another bleach blonde failure with a famous last name." Very, very nice line right there. I'm genuinely impressed with Ruby Riot's promo skills. This led to Bobby Roode coming out and interrupting the Riot Squad when they were going to attack Charlotte. I don't really know why they did that little segment. But then we had Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. It was a decent match for what it was. But at the same time, like, why is Randy Orton losing when he's going into a United States Championship match with Bobby Roode? Does this mean Randy Orton's going to win at Fastlane? If this is so, this is 1000% the wrong decision to have Randy Orton go over Bobby Roode at Fastlane. Bobby Roode just won the championship in January. Bobby Roode needs to have a long, drawn-out reign with the championship. Have him lose it at Backlash. Have Bobby lose the title at Backlash. It gives Bobby a nice 100-plus day reign as champion. It gets him through WrestleMania with the championship. And you can have him drop it to someone like Orton, Mahal, Dillinger, Ryder, Sin Cara. You have all these options to drop the title to, but yet, you're probably just going to go with some type of lame finish with a pointless storyline like you usually do on SmackDown. Roode then got involved, caused Mahal to knock Orton into Roode, and Mahal won with the Colossus. Blah, 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 blah. Nakamura and Rusev had a promo backstage, and Rusev actually challenged Nakamura to a match at Fastlane, although I would have rather have seen John Cena versus Nakamura, because take a look at this for a minute. You got that Fatal 5-Way, or you had the Fatal 5-Way between Styles, Ziggler, Zayn, Owens, and Corbin. It was going to be a good match. You had the tag team title match between the Usos and the New Day, you had the US title match, you had the women's title match, and then if you had added John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura, that's not a bad 5-match lineup right there. I'm not saying that Rusev versus Nakamura is not going to be a good match, but why aren't you preparing Rusev and Aiden English for what they rightfully deserve? A SmackDown Live Tag Team title opportunity against the Usos. I said that Rusev Day versus the Usos would have been a great match for WrestleMania. It would have been a fantastic match for WrestleMania. Why aren't you pushing that initiative? I mean, why are you going to go with the Bludgeon Brothers over Rusev Day? If anything, Rusev Day would be better as babyface champions, and then a couple months down the road, you can have Rusev Day drop it to the Bludgeon Brothers, get the Bludgeon Brothers over as top-tier SmackDown Live tag team heels. And then you could build up Sanity to take the titles off the Bludgeon Brothers. What's so hard about that? What is so hard about listening to the audience? He is one of the top merch sellers and one of the most over guys in the company, and you're going to have him lose to Nakamura at Fastlane. Poor treatment of Rusev. Very poor treatment of Rusev. And then we had Shinsuke say he was going to turn Sunday into Nakamura Day. Nakamura's got some pipes. He's got some slamming pipes. Becky Lynch then defeated Carmella. Decent match for what it was. Didn't really mean anything. And then Naomi and Natalya had a little confrontation backstage, and Naomi challenged Natalya to a tag team match at Fastlane. So it's going to be Lynch and Naomi versus Natalya and Carmella at Fastlane. Styles then addressed Fastlane. He agreed to fight everyone in his path, and he agreed to fight for everyone to get to Nakamura at WrestleMania. And then Ziggler came out. He basically addressed his whole career, basically saying the crowd will turn on you like that. Styles said, let's get this match started right now. And we had a match right then and there between Styles and Ziggler. It was interrupted by Zayn and Owens. And McMahon came out and made it into a Fatal 5-Way in which Sami Zayn won by pinning Kevin Owens. Very interesting scenario there. So, based on the look of things, we could be getting Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, which would enhance WrestleMania even more, because right now the lineup for WrestleMania is looking pretty damn good. I'm actually excited for WrestleMania. The build has been absolutely horrendous, but the show should be pretty damn good. It's actually looking better than last year. So if they play their cards right, they put Zayn and Owens on there, put Styles and Nakamura on there, Usos versus Rusev Day, or Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Could be looking at a pretty good damn WrestleMania card. Again, SmackDown was very similar to Raw, just a 2 to 3 highlight show. And then we had 205 Live, and 205 Live, man, only continues to impress. I only continue to get more and more impressed with 205 Live by the week. We had the two last quarterfinal matchups. Drew Gulak defeated Mark Andrews in a very good match. Mark Andrews and Drew Gulak, they had some brutal spots in this match. You had Mark Andrews do a Hurricane Rana to Drew Gulak off of the apron, and Gulak hit the floor hard and just bounced. He just bounced right off the floor. Kind of similar to what Gargano did with Andrade Cien Almas at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia when Almas dodged the Cannonball Senton. Gargano got a hard bounce. Same thing with Drew Gulak. And Mark Andrews continued to fight, pulled off a moonsault to the floor. And Drew Gulak ended up dodging the shooting star press, or he got the knees up, and then he locked in the dragon sleeper known as the Gulak. And Drew Gulak is moving on to the semi-finals. We also had Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami defeating some jobbers. They gelled very nicely, and I actually have some news on why they've been pairing a few cruiserweights up in tag team action as of lately. Next week, we're getting Cedric Alexander versus Roderick Strong in the semifinals matchup. And then, in the main event, Mustafa Ali defeated Buddy Murphy in a damn good match. A hard-hitting matchup. We'd have Mustafa Ali. Let me tell you something. Mustafa Ali, by the week, he only continues to open more and more and more eyes. And let me tell you something. From the start of this tournament, I picked Cedric. But after this match, I may have to change my pick here. I knew Mustafa Ali was good, but I didn't think they were going to give Mustafa Ali the title right out the gate. But from the way things are looking, Mustafa Ali could be the next Cruiserweight champion at WrestleMania. Mustafa Ali pulling off all these moves I've never seen him pull off. A 450 right to the arm of Buddy Murphy, and Buddy Murphy's arm, it looked like it hit the mat hard. It looked like he landed on that arm the wrong way. But Buddy Murphy was playing up to that arm injury the entire match. Then we had Mustafa Ali do an inverted Frankensteiner right on the top of Buddy Murphy's head. And then Buddy Murphy was doing a lot of RVD selling the entire match, which made the match even more better. We had Buddy Murphy go back and forth with Ali, hit those devastating kicks. Murphy went for Murphy's Law, the pump-handle Death Valley driver, but Mustafa rolled him up in a crucifix pin for the 1, 2, 3. Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak in the semifinals. If their 2 out of 3 falls match back on 205 Live in July, if that was great, this match could even be better. These two, each other's best opponents. It's going to be a damn good match next week. Great episode of 205 Live. Great episode. So I tweeted out before NXT that something went wrong with my WWE Network connection. So I'm going to see if I can have that fixed sometime between now and Fastlane, because there's no way I'm missing Fastlane. I'm going to see if I can get that fixed. But I did not watch NXT, but I checked the results. The Authors of Pain, they defeated TM61 in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. I heard it was a very good match. And Authors of Pain looked to be moving on to the semifinals. There was a confrontation backstage between Strong, Dunn, and Cole. They had a war of words backstage, and it resulted in William Regal making a match for next week on NXT. It's going to be Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. That's going to be an even better match than Roderick Strong. I love NXT. They have all these crazy matchups. And they use them. They use all the superstars to their full potential. They actually get creative. Nobody's getting creative on the main roster except with 205 Live. We have the same thing over and over again, Raw and SmackDown. Meanwhile, on NXT, we're getting Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne, Adam Cole and Pete Dunne. We're getting Tyler Bate and the Velveteen Dream. We're getting the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic again with the Authors of Pain and TM61. Bianca Belair then defeated a jobber. We had Tommaso Ciampa come out. Tommaso Ciampa came out. He didn't say a word. Tommaso Ciampa came out. He didn't even utter a word. And already, this is probably my favorite promo of 2018 thus far. And he didn't say a word. He came out with the crutch, just looking around. And every time he put the microphone to his mouth, everyone just showered him with boos. It reminded me of Roman Reigns the night after WrestleMania. And trust me, those are some pretty damn good memories right there. So then we had Tommaso Ciampa. He just got out of the ring, just started walking around the ring. He walked around the ring, and then he came to a man with a Johnny Gargano sign. He ripped the Johnny Gargano sign out of the man's hand, tore it to shreds, and then he beat down the sign. He beat down the Johnny Gargano sign with the crutch, and then he stood on the stage, just put his hands up, and just relished in the glory as he was showered with booze. This was a great promo. A great promo, and he didn't even utter a word. Can you imagine what it's going to be like with Tommaso Ciampa in the following weeks? I'm telling you right now, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa will happen at TakeOver Chicago 2, and it is going to be probably the match of the year. And then in the main event, Aleister Black defeated Killian Dane. Obviously, this only enhances Aleister Black's chances at Andrade Cien Almas, which more than likely we will be getting at TakeOver New Orleans. I'm very excited for it. Now, on to the news, rumors, and reports. I got a lot of news for you. So first things first. First on the table, we got Bryan Alvarez recently stating on the Wrestling Observer Radio that current plans for WWE call for two Battle Royals for WrestleMania. One men's and one women's. The women's is expected to be named the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal. One of them will take place on the kickoff, and the other will take place on the main show. I really don't have a problem with this. I actually like this concept. It should get some more women in there, give some more NXT women some opportunity at WrestleMania. I'm very much looking forward to this. I like to see how this turns out. And if they go this route, I could see Nia Jax winning it. Since Bayley and Sasha Banks are going into a feud. Meanwhile, you got Alexa and Nia. Nia, she could walk out with the Raw Women's title and the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal trophy. If not Nia Jax, you got a lot of options in there. Maybe you can introduce an NXT woman in there. Maybe Becky Lynch, because Asuka seems to be going into a match with Charlotte. You can introduce Becky Lynch, maybe Ember Moon, the Iconic Duo. There's a lot of options that you got. So I'm actually interested in how they plan this battle royal. Next, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, there are plans for a Cruiserweight Tag Team Championship to be introduced to 205 Live. Now, at first, when I first heard this, I didn't really like this idea. I didn't like this idea because of the fact that, I really think that 205 Live shouldn't be based on tag teams. I feel that 205 Live should just be based on the work rate alone of the cruiserweights. You can build a lot of mini feuds on 205 Live and therefore prepare other cruiserweights to challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship in the future. I mean, now that you got Triple H, you have a vast variety of opportunities with Triple H. You have more opportunities with Triple H than you do with Vince McMahon. But now that I think about it, if you want to add Cruiserweight Tag Team titles to bring a bit more relevance or a sense of relevance to the show, I'm actually looking to see how this plays out. If they do institute the Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships, I'm actually interested to see who is going to hold it. If so they do this, they're going to have to get a lot more cruiserweights in there. If so they do this, Roderick Strong, Buddy Murphy, Tyler Bate, all these other competitors, they're going to have to become consistent with 205 Live. Especially Roderick Strong. I've really been enjoying Roderick Strong's run with 205 Live. If they do this, I can see the Lucha House Party taking the role of the first ever Cruiserweight Tag Team Championship holders. I'd very much like to see this. Next, Mike Johnson again. Mike Johnson reported on PW Insider Elite Audio. Alberto Del Rio is supposedly wanted back in WWE by Vince McMahon. This is not a good decision. Number one, we already know the antics that Del Rio had with Paige. We already know the whole story with Alberto Del Rio and that scandal situation over at the airport with Paige. Plus, they already have an Alberto Del Rio in WWE. They have the next Del Rio. It's Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade Cien Almas, I stated, he can be what Alberto Del Rio was not. You give Andrade Cien Almas the biggest push you can give him. You gave him one of the biggest pushes in NXT. You could certainly do it on the main roster. You can give him the United States title or the Intercontinental title. Have him start with that and work his way up to the World Championship. Could you imagine a match with Andrade Cien Almas and AJ Styles? Andrade Cien Almas and Seth Rollins or Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode? I mean, like, there's some damn good matches right there. Potential matches of the year candidates right there. You don't need Alberto Del Rio back in WWE. Andrade Cien Almas is the new Alberto Del Rio. Push el idolo. Next, PW Insider again. I've been getting a lot of PW Insider reports as of lately. PW Insider reports that more talent might be involved in the IC title match at WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer actually discussed on Wrestling Observer Radio that Strowman or Elias could be added to the match. Now, I love Strowman, I love Elias. I'm walking with Elias every day, and I'm ready to get these hands, but with the match that you have right now, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz, they put on a great triple threat match back in May. You can relive that, possibly even trump that triple threat match at WrestleMania. You don't really need anyone else. Obviously, it could make the match better, but with the talent that you got in there, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz, they gel very well with each other. Keep the match as it is. Give Finn Balor the Intercontinental Championship. You do not need to make any changes to that match. Strowman, he could win. Him or Elias, one of them can win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now then, moving on, according to Pro Wrestling Sheet, I actually got some news here. Jeff Hardy, that's right, Jeff Hardy has been cleared to return to in-ring action. And right now, he's just waiting for the WWE medical staff to approve. Things are looking very, very bright for Jeff Hardy. And now that you got the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, the Woken gimmick, you got Matt Hardy introducing the Hardy compound, the Broken Hardys are going to make a nice addition to the Raw Tag Team division. You can have some great matches with the Revival. You can bring the Authors of Pain up there. You can bring Titus Worldwide in there. You're going to have some great matches when they get Jeff Hardy back in there and you get the Woken Hardys in those tag team divisions. We're going to have a pretty good Raw Tag Team division coming out of WrestleMania 34. Now, according to PW Insider, again, obviously I'm a PW Insider guy, but according to PW Insider, by way of cage side seats, Drew McIntyre is back in the Performance Center working out. He could very well make his return by WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, I'm very much looking forward to Drew McIntyre's return. I think if they keep him down in NXT for a little bit, you can have some great matches with the likes of Aleister Black, maybe get the rematch in with Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship, maybe a triple threat match. Give me a triple threat match at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 between Aleister Black, Andrade Cien Almas, and Drew McIntyre. I would love to see that. That would be a great damn match. And then, what you can do, after Johnny Gargano disposes of Tommaso Ciampa, what you can do, you can set up for a great moment in the summer. And I'm not really saying this just because I might be going to take over Brooklyn 4. I'm saying this because this very well could be another 5-star matchup in NXT if they play their cards right. You got Andrade Cien Almas and Johnny Gargano. They put on a 5-star match. What you can do, Johnny disposes of Tommaso Ciampa, and then Aleister Black beats Andrade Cien Almas and Drew McIntyre. You can set up for Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. Can you imagine that match? They had some moments in that Fatal 4-Way during NXT television, but can you imagine a match between Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship? That match alone, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. That match could very well steal the entire calendar year for 2018. I would love to see that match. And my final report of the day. This came out during NXT. William Regal announced that a new title will debut at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. It is called the NXT North American Championship, and it will be on the line in a 6-man ladder match in New Orleans. Get this. The participants will be Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, the Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, Ricochet, and Ethan Carter III, EC3. We knew that TakeOver New Orleans was going to be better than WrestleMania based on the entire booking techniques of NXT alone. I mean, obviously, we have Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas. Obviously, we have the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners taking on the Undisputed Era. By the way, if Bobby Fish is seriously injured, I do wish him a quick recovery. I hate to see Bobby Fish injured, especially at this moment right here, because the Undisputed Era, they've been at the top of their game as of lately. You got Ember Moon versus potentially Kairi Sane or Shayna Baszler. Now you add this match? We could be looking at the takeover of the year, and the year isn't even halfway done. The year isn't even a quarter done. We're not even done with March yet, and I'm already stating we could be looking at the takeover of the year. NXT has been giving us something to really invest our time in as of lately. I'm very much looking forward to this match. And just by the looks of things, I'm going to call EC3. EC3 right out of the gate to win the North American Championship. This match is going to be fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the DJ Storms. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to comment. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to check out the Lightning Flash Update last week if you missed it. Do not forget, tomorrow I will be posting the official rundown for WWE SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view Fastlane. And as I've been stating for the last couple of weeks, March 24th, Saturday, Felician University, Rescue Mania on the East Coast. The entire DJ Storms production crew will be there. I will be there. JV Thunder's going to be there. I got front row seats, and I will be interviewing several superstars who will be competing. You never know who's going to show up. Till then, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow.